First off, just to review put a bow on the LSU game on Saturday. Obviously, had a great first half. We played really well for about the first. And look, LSU made runs, but we played really well for 25, 26 minutes. It was a back and forth game. Look, basketball is a game of runs. I mean, that's just part of the game, But it was, and then what happened is the same thing that happened with Wisconsin and North Carolina. There's like a 4 to 5 minute spell in that second half, in that mid-level of the second half, they just go on a barrage of scoring. We don't get stops. We miss shots. We have high turnovers. It's just, it's kind of like a 4 or 5 minute section there in that mid-level of the second half. And so we've got to be able to be tough enough to eliminate that. As I've said, I'm just telling you, I really like this group. I love our team. I think we're going to be really good. We just need to keep getting better experience, and just keep improving, and keep having individually guys getting better. Obviously, the turnovers on Saturday was a lot, but we also forced them into 21 turnovers. So, but in the end, we had some opportunities, and we had some good looks late, and we just didn't able to convert. But we'll get better from it, and we have another great opportunity on Saturday. I mean, we've had this 4-game stretch, 4 top 25 teams basically that we're playing, and great opportunity for us, and looking forward to a chance to play against a very good USC team. Coach Enfield does a great job. They're extremely well coached, a lot of good players, and we'll have to play really well on Saturday. And my vision, focus, goal is, look, you guys know I want to forget just the game, I'm trying to win every possession. But I'm also, as I said, I want to make sure we're moving in the right direction for ACC play when we play Syracuse. So I want us to make sure over these next 3 games, and again, I want to be clear, I want to win all 3 games, but I want to make sure our team, the way we're playing, we're getting better, we're cleaning the things up that need to be cleaned up, and we're moving in the right direction on Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday in preparation for our final 20 guaranteed ACC games, which would include the first game that you get in the ACC tournament. So that is our objective, is to making sure we're making the right strides forward in preparation for play after Christmas into ACC play for a guaranteed 20 ACC games, which includes the ACC tournament first game. And so that's that. We want to win every game, but I think for me, I want to make sure that I'm seeing our team moving in the right direction, cleaning up what needs to be cleaned up, so we're ready to go after Christmas.
It seems like the last 2 games you had some nice leads, but then those final minutes before halftime, it disappeared. Does that have anything to do with the way the team comes out in the second half?
Well, I think also you go back to Wisconsin, like Davis kid hit that 3 late, at the buzzer there too. So yeah, I mean it's I think our next stage, Rod, is being able to sustain our level of play, and to continue to get better at the little details, but also being not having that 5-6 minute segment in the second half where you just drop. Look, you could be up on a team, and you could be up 15. That doesn't mean you're going to win every game by 15. Basketball is a game of runs. It's a game of energy. So just like we've been down, and then we come back. So you guys know that. You've watched enough games to know that. It's just that we can't have the lulls or the segments where it's just kind of like a 4 or 5 minute segment where they're scoring, we're not getting stops, we're missing great looks, we're turning it over. Because even in the end of the first half on those games, it just things happen. They make some shots, or other teams got good players, but you're going in halftime. Wisconsin were down 1, Carolina were tied, LSU were up 4. You know what I mean? It's the second half, and it's not the start of the second half, because Wisconsin, it was back and forth. We had the lead. Carolina, we got up 4. LSU, it was back and forth. We had some chance. it's around that 15-minute to 10-minute mark. There's just a stretch, and maybe not even. It's more about the 15:30 to about 9:30. There's that 5-minute stretch where it just gets. They get a strong lead on us, and then we're just completely in an uphill battle, and that's that stretch we've got to eliminate.
Is that a situation where maybe some fatigue, mental or physical, steps in and you have to start rolling some guys in to spark things in those points in the games during the media timeouts or whatever?
You know, Kelly, interesting you asked that. And everybody that knows me knows my entire career. I would prefer to play just 7 guys. Here's our 7-man rotation, and then that's it, and everybody knows the roles. I don't know if this year's team is just built just to do 7. And it makes it, when you start playing more guys, it makes it harder for everybody, because sometimes you can get guys out of rhythm and flow if you're trying to just sub too much, because you want to let guys play, obviously, and let them play through some mistakes, and they got to, because basketball is instinctively so much different than football, because there's a stoppage after every play. Basketball, it's such free flowing, and it's such an instinctively and rhythm and flow energy type of game. But based on our team and our personnel, it is something that I have to really, that I've been looking at myself. Do I need to, and I've been playing 8 guys, Kelly, double-digit minutes. If you look at our stats, 8 guys, double-digit minutes, which I think is the most since I've been here. Is that correct, Mark? I don't think I've ever played 8 guys double-digit minutes since my time as a head coach here at Georgia Tech. Now, obviously, we still have a long time to go to finish the season, but to this point, that has not been done before as going to my 6th year. So the question you're asking is, do I need to stretch it to 9? And that is a fair question. Do I even stretch it to 10? I think we're playing 8, but we might not. We might need to get to 9. I'm not saying I'm going to do that. I'm not, because I don't want to hold me to that. But I am saying I am taking a close look at that. That's what's best for our team? It might not be best for Josh Pastner, but what's best for Josh Pastner might not be best for this year's team. And what's best for this year's team could be that we've got to play a little more guys, give guys more rest, and the fatigue factor, because we ask them to do a lot with our offense, with the cutting, and then defensively with the changing of the defenses, and you're flying around. We're a little unique. We're very unique and different, and outside the box in what we do, but it requires a lot of amount of effort to make it work, to be successful in our system. Go ahead, Kelly. Yeah.
And just to follow up, I imagine Bubba coming back.
Well, that gives you, yeah. Absolutely. Whenever Bubba decides to play, or whenever he's cleared to play, that might take that. You go from 8 to 9, or you play in, that will. He's going to play whenever he's able to play, as long as he's healthy and he's playing the way that we know that Bubba can play. He will play, and that will take minutes right there, and give more opportunity for rest for other guys as well too.
I'm sure it's one of the things like if you knew it was coming, you would call timeout and things. But like when you go back and watched, did you notice like kind of signs of fatigue or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know if it's fatigue. I just think it's just, I still think we're a young team in some areas, that we're getting better. I think we're having a tough schedule, and like I said, I'm telling you, our team is good. We're going to be really good. I believe it, and I'm not saying it because I'm an internal optimist. I really believe in our team's going to be good. I just think we just need time to continue to get better. And in that segment, Ken, I don't know if it's not. I don't want to just pin it on a fatigue thing. A lot of it because we're getting some open shots. Because all of a sudden, if you make a couple of those threes that we're shooting, you're sitting there saying, it's a different story. Or the teams like Carolina, for example, in that segment, they shot a lot of deep shots and they made them. Wisconsin, that segment was when Davidson he looked like he was Michael Jordan. And then the LSU, our turnovers just led to them some easy breakout points. So could it be fatigue? I guess it could, but I'm looking at that. I'm also looking at, and the other thing is each game I've called a timeout. The issue is when when it's going back and forth, when they get up 6 or 7 or 8, I end up calling the timeout. Do I need to call a timeout immediately when they get up 2 or immediately when they get the lead, I could just call timeout. That is something to consider.
Right. You've talked a lot about the turnover situation.
Yeah.
When you go back and look at the film, is it a result of the up-tempo offense, or do you see a lot of them taking place in the half-court offense?
And I'm glad you asked that because a lot of people. Did you guys hear me on my Monday night radio show? Anyway, and this would be good for.
Saturday week, Josh.
Yeah. Okay. But this is good for your people that are following you, because a lot of people have asked, well, about the half court offense, about Rodney being at the elbow. Our turnovers, like last game, Rodney had 0 turnovers. The turnovers weren't within the half court. A lot of our turnovers were within bang bang plays, meaning like transition, or we get like a backdoor cut and then all of a sudden the guy catches charge, or we got deep and threw some plays away. I mean, a lot of it wasn't the half court offense. It wasn't Rodney. It was just that we've got to cut out some of our turnovers. Michael DeVoe had 5. Jordan Usher had 6. Khalid Moore had 3. That's your 3 seniors. That's 14 between those 3 guys. That's a lot. And then your 2 point guards, Kyle and Davon, had 7. So that's 21 out of those spots. Out of our 24, then we had 3 teams. So it's more the individual that we just got to keep getting them better to making sure that they're making the right plays to not turn it over. There's going to be some turnovers. We're not going to be turnoverless. I mean, there's going to be some turnovers, but having it at the 24 rate was too high. Part of that was LSU, but we need to keep it within the best that we can in that 9 to 11 territory.
Some lazy passing too.
Like in that action where we threw a lot from the top to the elbow and they was getting picked. Now, some of that may have been credit with the guard with the turnover, but it could have been maybe Rodney once or Jordan Usher once or twice. But they can't stare it down. When you're in the offense that we're running, you cannot stare it down. And I went through this whole thing in my radio show on Monday, but you can't stare it down with your eyes. You got to play, and you got to stay in the middle third, because you got to be able to play at the elbow or play weak side. And part of it, some of those turnovers, we weren't getting great foot position in our post-ups at the elbow, and because everything's about a foot fight, not a fist fight. It's all about a feet fight. And then the other thing was that we were staring it down, which telegraphed to the passes to LSU.
Just, to kind of look at this next little stretch of games, and obviously you have some guys still trying to feel their way to the offense, like Miles and Debo. Kind of, what do you tell them? Do you want them to be more aggressive, or are they being too?
No, I mean, I just think it's sort of like a couple of times where Jordan Usher turned it over and he was wide open for 3, and then he went in to try to get deeper, and I was like, hey, you got to shoot it. Like for any of our guys, when you're open from 3, you got to shoot it. And if we miss it, we miss it. But you can't not. What you can't do is turn down wide open shots to try to get deeper and get yourself a tougher situation. If you're open, we got to move the ball. As I've always said, Kelly, the open man's the go-to man. The go-to man's the open man. And when that ball's swung and you're open, you got to let it go. And we don't live and die by the 3. We don't take, we're not jacking 3s. But when we're open, we got to let it go. And that includes for Debo and Miles. I want them to be aggressive, and when they're open, their feet are set. They're letting it fly.
How much do you feel like, you really need to make significant changes, or is it just slight adjustments, or how, probably before?
Yeah. This is not a territory where it's a. I've had to make course corrections before and like change things. Like I did that last year. Totally after our first. We just completely changed. I did that 2 years ago after going to Hawaii. I just completely did a 180. I did it both years. I don't see it this year as that. And I see it more as we got to get better. We got young guys. We got to get better. We got to continue to have them improve. We got to continue to be, as a team, we got to continue to be tougher. And when I say tougher, that means not having those stretches in the second half. We're right there. We're up. I'm telling you, we're a good team. We're close. And I know close doesn't get you a cigar, but we're close. We're close. That doesn't mean we're going to go win every single game, but I really believe we'll get better. I have a good feel on our team that We got good talent. We're just young. Guys are in positions, and the more we play, the better we'll get. And we just got to continue to develop guys. And I keep saying I hope we go 3-0 over these next three. But again, my target is after Christmas. I mean, we've got to start hitting our strides in that part after Christmas. And I've said it, so I've got to stand by it, that we've got to be. Again, that doesn't mean we're going to win every ACC game. It just means that when you see us on the floor, you'll say, okay, this team's pretty good. I see where Coach is saying they got better and better and better, and they just needed November and December to kind of get right and figure each other out. So I don't think it's a course correction systematically. I just think we just got to keep getting the individuals better. And I think the more we play together and the more guys get opportunities, the better they'll be through experience. And we have played a very tough schedule. And we didn't have Bubba. I mean, it's just, that's a big piece you're missing on that. So you're throwing guys in there to really get some things done that haven't, and even for other guys, new roles for guys. So it's all part of it. And as Kelly mentioned, when Bubba is able to be cleared medically and able to come back, he'll be a big addition and help for that.